So I think we were wanting to sort of put some questions to you guys almost as if they were from the students themselves, because some of our people have been asking about the workshops and about what they'll be about. So we've just written down some questions that we think will help them, well, book the workshops, really.
All right, let's go.
So, I mean, we've obviously created a Forrest yoga community in Dundee, but the Scottish yoga community, there isn't a huge amount of Forrest yoga outside of Dundee. So, for somebody that hasn't done Forrest yoga, what would be different for them to experience in a class with you?
There's a lot of differences. The way that we start the class, for one, and since Jose is the ceremonial song man, I'm going to let him answer that question about the beginning of it, and then I'll pick it up from there.
Okay. Well, besides the usual stuff in me, like, sensible sequencing and all that other stuff, when Anna and I got together, we brought two spiritual teachers together. We brought a spiritual teacher that came from the indigenous world of music, storytelling, and a philosophy that went back 40,000 years. So what we're doing is we're beyond the asanas. We're going beyond the asanas. We're going deeper. We're going into a self-inquiry together using music, dance, rhythm, and storytelling to get the individual into a second state of attention or into a second gear. And the combination of Anna and I together now, by putting two spiritual teachers together from vastly different worlds, has created, firstly, a new path for Forrest Yoga, and secondly, a new path to yoga in general. So the ceremonies which Aboriginal people have been using for 40,000 years were used to actually go from ordinary to extraordinary. And we use some of these songs and invocations to actually transport the individual beyond the neurotic, beyond the dysfunctional. And my job is to set up the class before Anna works her magic with what she'll tell you, what she does. And then also in Savasana, I come in with some music. And of course, Finley, you were there when we first begun the experiment in Sydney 3 years ago, and now since then it has matured and really taken shape and made yoga what it really should be, like a more complete experience. People aren't there for downward dog. They're there to sort out problems. They're there to go beyond neurosis, and that's my job in Forrest Yoga.
And also, the way that we're using music is an ancient spiritual technology that the First Nations have used for thousands of years. Like the Aboriginal people have been documented on 40,000 years of using music. And the Native Americans also. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it's been a very long time of using song and drumming to quest for what's next in life, or how to heal, or how to come back into balance. So we're using it in that way. And then once we start with the setting of the intent, this is very different from a regular class. It's like the intent is either set by me, it could be like quest to a warrior's heart, or building a warrior's heart, or connecting to spirit, or what is your injury that you most need to work on. But to have that focus and to be honing a person's focus on their own healing and their own evolving is a fantastic way of working in life. And what a great gift to each person that shows up. It's like these couple of hours, or 2.5 or 3 hours, or however long we get to be with them, is all about you, and all about your delving into the great mystery of who you are. And in the process, you're healing. The sequencing, like the sequencing in Forrest Yoga, is unparalleled. It's brilliantly designed by my spirit and in my deep observations of what brings healing to myself and to the other people. So each pose is intricately connected to the next. Everything makes sense. And it's not just some random thing like, oh, I think I'll do wheel next. And just throwing poses together is very hurtful. It's just like throwing any kind of notes and music together. It's a headache in the making. And so to sequence the poses in a way that creates this beautiful movement of energy and this deep introspective epiphanies and lights up the brain, it's just fantastic.
And of course, people at Dundee would have to be fucking crazy to miss these workshops. And of course, Findlay, you were there when we first begun, the first bringing other musicians and other cultures like Native American, Indians and Maoris into the room to give us a taste of what their tradition is about and how it can be used in yoga. So, and of course, Helen in Peterborough. So since then, Anna and I have formed a much closer connection, and we keep evolving. We keep surprising ourselves because we keep upping the game.
So our next question is, do I need a lot of yoga experience to attend the workshops?
No. Simple enough. No.
Any yoga experience?
No, so, what's that?
Do they need any yoga experience? Can they come straight to the workshops having done no yoga maybe?
They can have whatever experience they have or have had. It won't be the experience they're going to have with us, so it actually doesn't matter. Sure, if they know how to do these different poses and they know what elbow to knee is, because you've been teaching there for quite some time, Forrest Yoga, so we'll have people that know it. But the people that don't know anything, we're going on a quest into learning from that don't know anything place anyways. So it doesn't matter. What people need to understand is their level of expertise isn't what's important, it's our level of expertise. So that we have the capacity to meet them and teach them at wherever they're at.
There's something for everybody. There's something for the crazy, there's something for the neurotic, there's something for the dysfunctional, there's something for the sparkly individual, because to sit through the ceremonies, receive the smoking, receive the songs and blessing, anyone can accept that gift. Anyone can do Savasana as well. But everything in between, what I've noticed in the last 46 events that we've done together is that no matter where the student is at, that we can always give them a starting point.
Yeah, in Mexico, we had an 11-year-old in all of our events. And in Vancouver, we had a 94-year-old who was a Hiroshima survivor.
And in Tulum, I think it was around a 70-year-old, 70-year-old woman.
It's like it doesn't really matter. Well, one class that matters is if we're doing like a gravity surfing class, because that is a class that is a more advanced. But even so, this is one of the aspects of Forrest Yoga your people need to know about, or the people coming to this, is there's always an up level, there's always a down level. There's always a way to create a pose that will fit that person's skill level. Yeah. And it's just like, that's our job, is to come up with a pose that they can do and to not worry about it. I have more poses that they can do over the course of a weekend than I have a year to teach them. So it doesn't matter. We will have we will have other wonderful people assisting so that people get tended to. And if they feel like they're not being tended to, they got permission to raise their hand and ask for help. Because we're there to help them and teach them the exquisite gifts that we've discovered in our life and developed.
Can't wait to see Dundee as well.
Yeah, we've never been to Dundee.
Never been to Dundee.
That's exciting.
So Findlay, the pressure's on.
Oh, is that right?
Just have a good time.
Of course.
So just to answer that, we were talking mostly about the beginners there, or the elderly people, or the people that have all these considerations of, oh, I'm not good enough to be there. It's like, it's actually not about them being good enough to be there. It's about us being good enough to meet them wherever they're at. And that includes the people who are mega athletes.
Yeah.
It's like, we need to be skilled enough to meet them wherever they're at and take them through an experience that has value from the cell tissue to the soul.
Yeah. And I suppose the same is true for people that are injured as well.
Oh yeah, we have many, many, many ways of dealing with the injuries, so far as giving them different options of poses, or to just say, wait till I'm done talking to the class, and then go over and work with them in a way that can either heal the injury or just stay off of it while some other part of them is being worked. Mm-hmm. The undercurrent of Forrest Yoga, and especially what we bring, is healing and evolving oneself, and to light up the brain. Like this work with the music, this work with the breath, with the intent, it lights up the brain more than anything else. It does fantastic things. So especially for people who have trouble with depression and stuff, they're going to get a whole new toolbox of how to change their energy in their life and change their own luminosity, literally their own ability to light up.
As we do more events together, we actually give the individual tools to create his own sense of hope. We can lead them to the water, but we can't drink it. But we do give them new sets of things to do and a new sense of hope. Like how to turn the point of attention away from the depressed individual to shift the attention points when things are at critical point. So to build new sense of hope. Oh, look, I can do this and I can do this next time I go into a crazy depression. I can do this and I can do that. So we are instilling a sense of hope, but we're not doing it for them. We are just leading them to the water.
Like you know, Finley, just from your life, and you've talked about it openly, so I think we can put it here. It's like you've wrestled with some of those demons, and you have a lot of skills now in dealing with it. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And that was that was the main thing, was the formula for change, that changing from being fixated on that and doing something completely different and changing your neurological structure and how you respond. It's such a big part.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when the little demon comes up saying it's all hopeless and I should just suicide and I should just drink or blah, 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 to recognize there's actually more resources than going to that old behavior pattern that's so hurtful. There's actually other things to do instead of thinking that's the only way. It's like, that's just a lie.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. Then.
Absolutely.
And to quit letting run. Quit, it's like one of the things our people learn, which I think is so valuable, is to stop obeying the lies. I just think that's fantastic when people really get, like, I don't have to obey that anymore. I'm going to do some yoga and change my chemistry because my chemistry is a little dark right now.
I'm going to go and visit an emu.
That may be harder to do in Scotland. But...
And it was doing that thunk, thunk, thunk in its chest.
Yeah.
That was an amazing story.
It was telling you,
and that tiger that was talking with me.
Yeah, well, there's been a litter of wolf pups born in Dundee this week.
Oh, a litter of wolf cubs.
Yeah, in Dundee.
Fantastic.
We can go and see them.
Sweet. Maybe we could see them. Can we visit them?
Of course. So, I guess our last question is, what are you looking forward to the most in Scotland?
In Scotland? Well, seeing you.
Growing the community. Knowing that you and Katie Boyle have actually got things started there, and just to be able to expand the community, knowing that Scotland needs a lot of development. So anyone who sees this workshop will come back for more. So, and of course Scotland, I've never been to Scotland, so for me it's wow. I've been to over 60 countries, never been to Scotland, so for me it's like really looking forward to it. And you told me there was a good bakery next door to your yoga studio. I'm looking forward to that as well, even though I'm not supposed to eat bread anymore.
I'm so looking forward to roaming more of Scotland. And the next time that we come back, Finley, you and me and Jose have a date with the wilderness in Scotland.
Oh yeah.
And an advanced teacher training once the popularity swells in Scotland with Forrest Yoga.
It's getting there.
We'd love to do it. Yeah, we'd love to do it.
Well, you know me, I'm always talking about
What
it.
else? You're always talking.
Forest yoga.
Yes. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being such a good teacher and guardian in forest yoga. That's an amazing step.
So, you have anything else?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask a quick question. So we covered our people that are going to come to the workshops and their expectations of themselves and how much they feel they need to know about yoga. But what about ceremony? Do they have to have had experience of that before? Will they be expected to participate in the ceremony, or can they just kind of absorb it?
For a workshop, Helen, like during a teacher training, we can go for Connecticut, we've got 45-minute ceremonies coming up, which are intelligently structured, where they receive some and participate in some. But in a workshop, we only have maybe 6 or 7 minutes, maybe 5, 6 minutes. So it's really about doing the smoking and clearing their field and just sitting back and absorbing the music and ceremony. And we also do invocations and acknowledgements. So in my culture in Australia, we always invocate the good spirits into the room. It's something that is always done at the beginning of a ceremony. Invite the spirits into the room. And whether people believe in spirits or not, they are fucking everywhere. And all it is a matter is knock and the door will be open. If you knock properly, the door's always open and the good spirits come into the room. And we're there to help. Each and every individual in the room has a unique set of problems. And we don't just pray for ourselves. We pray for and do the invocations for every person in the room to help solve their problems. And so for the ceremony, there won't be any participation. Maybe like last day, I'll get everyone up for a dance and a sing.
I think they
But
could.
we will guide them through whatever they need to do. You know, whether it's at the beginning of the smoke blessing, the lead assistant or apprentice will say, this is what you need to do during that, and their eyes will be closed. And then we'll say, open your eyes and watch what's next. You know, it's like we'll give them guidance through all of it. They don't need to know, and even if they think they know, they won't have met these ceremonies before. So it's going to be new to them. And how fantastic is that? It's like, here's something brand new that's been around for tens of thousands of years. It's like, that's just the best. Well, let's hope it does good work in the world, you know, from taking this time to do this. It's kind of a really cool way of presenting a workshop, is giving a little, this little podcast thing, or however you're going to present it.
Yeah.
Before we wind up, Finley, could we see your dog?
Yeah, of course.
Or is he asleep?
He's asleep.
I want to see him. I love dogs. No, he's not interested.
Maybe you have to talk Dingo.
Nope, he just died. He's too smart.
He only speaks Sri Lankan.
Sri Lankan.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that's got him. It took a whistle. He doesn't speak English, I must remember that. What a beautiful pooch. What a gorgeous dog. Oh, look at it. Oh.
It's
Look at the way it's snugged in. That is a human soul in there, Finn. That dog is human, I swear.
Definitely is.
Yep.
You only have to look at his eyebrows. It's definitely you.
His eyebrows are more expressive than my eyebrows. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's really good to see you.
You fit in Helen.
See you soon.
And I may do yoga in Aboriginal Nagas. You know how you did yoga with kilts?
Yeah.
Maybe Anna and I will come and do with Aboriginal loincloths.